Watch and burn.
Hey everyone. So tonight I wanted to discuss the Dead Kennedys' first massive release. Now I know a lot of people who say the first massive release was their first release, and that's Fresh Fruit, but I've never loved that record. I always felt that the songs on there were good, but they were massively underproduced and in a lot of ways underrealized, and a lot of the potential was lost. So for me, the record that I will be discussing tonight is their first landmark release, and that is Plastic Surgery Disasters, which, if you ended up getting the same copy I did on CD, it comes doubled with In God We Trust Incorporated, which is awesome because that adds an additional X number, I believe 13 tracks, if memory serves. And so it makes this release mammoth-sized, which is always good. But with Plastic Surgery Disasters, I think one of my favorite things is the chunkiness of the rhythm section, with Klaus and Darren's drumming and bass working so well together, and they're so tight, and it's so big and so commanding that it gives this record like a serious amount of heft, and there's a lot of weight. And there's already a lot of weight to the Dead Kennedys releases because of how incredibly well written their songs are, how catchy and fun they are, and how serious and satirical at the same time, of course, their lyrics are, and how every lyric Biafra wrote, you could spend a year researching the topic behind it. And I love that about the Dead Kennedys because they're one of those few bands where I learned a lot about the topics that they're choosing to sing about. The only other band that I ever really did that with was Bad Religion, and that wasn't even so much the topics. Bad Religion's thing has always been environmental concern. And that's awesome and everything. But with Bad Religion, it was always their wordplay and how, like, what the hell does fecundity mean? Well, you look it up. It means fruitfulness, or to bear much fruit, or to have something come of your labors, which is awesome. And, you learn words like I said, like there's a whole pile of wordplay with Bad Religion stuff where you're not going to get the words at all. You're not going to have a clue what they mean, so you're going to have to look them up. And if you like them enough, you're going to remember them. You're going to end up using them in sentences, and then you're going to remember them forever. And there, you've learned something, and that's fucking rad. But with the Dead Kennedys, it's the same thing, but it's more about their topics. It's more about how they somehow manage to sort of intertwine and marry off pop culture references with incredibly serious topics about famine, disease, war, and an overall impending sense of paranoia with how the government is always watching you. Jesus, that scared me again. Okay, you're coming off. God, I thought it was a spider again, but it was just that same thread. I think that my favorite thing about this record is the crushing sense of paranoia, how it always seems like there's somebody watching you through the lyrics here, and how with songs like I Am the Owl and Trust Your Mechanic, Bleed For Me, there is like that very real sense of the government is watching you, and if you step out of line too much, they will come for you and you will disappear. And I like that about this album. And I know you could argue back that that's like pretty much standard fare for the entire discography from the Dead Kennedys. But I will say that overwhelming sense of paranoia is on full display here in a way that it's absent from the rest of their releases. The other thing I love about this record is how catchy and fun it is. I mean, Well Paid Scientist has my favorite verse from a Dead Kennedys song that begins with Welcome to Your Sterile Home. I love that verse. I love that song. Terminal Preppy's on here. Government Flu's on here. Bleed For Me's on here. I Am the Owl's on here. Their cover of Moon Over Marin. Although I don't love Moon Over Marin, I love their version of Moon Over Marin because of what it suggests about what's happening to the world and how, you can go outside if you put on your gas mask. And I love how they switched up the lyrics. And I like how the Dead Kennedys picked odd songs to cover and they really made them their own, like Rawhide and Viva Las Vegas and Moon Over Marin. Leave it to Jello and company to pick the oddest songs to cover and somehow make them work without having to like shoehorn them into one of their albums. They just fit, And there's not a bad song on here, although I don't really love Halloween. It's never been a song that I've ever really liked by the Dead Kennedys. I like the message and I like what it's saying, but I could never really feel the song all that much. But other than that, it's the only song on here I don't like. This record is a complete knockout. The booklet for it is ridiculously thick. There's an overwhelming amount of artwork from Winston Smith and Jello Biafra. And if I'm not mistaken, too, the vinyl releases for this came with the Fuck Facts. And I know that I have one of the Fuck Facts. I can't remember. Where did my Fuck Facts go? Where did that go? I'll be right back. And I found my, I have a couple of them. They released a few of these. This is the Fuck Facts newspaper that was released, I believe, with the vinyl version of Plastic Surgery back when the album came out on Alternative Tentacles back in the early 80s. Fuck, man, I gotta learn how to use my mouth in cooperation with my brain. And these things are wild. If you can see that, each little blurb is a cutout from a newspaper that Biafra and Winston Smith, like, they must have read, like, a billion weird independent newspapers from all throughout every part of America, and every crazy part of America at least, because these little blurbs, they say the strangest, cops blow up 3 kittens, you know, stuff like that. And it's all real. Like, none of this has been invented. And it's just, my God, and the type is so small, and there's so much effort put into these. And when you open these up, they get bigger and bigger, and there's things like, I don't know if you can see that at all. Yeah, you can. Like, I mean, look at that. I mean, think about the amount of work that went into creating these things. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that these were released with the vinyl version of Plastic Surgery, unless I'm getting that wrong, in which case I'll look it up after this and I'll make sure. I would have probably done it beforehand. No, I wouldn't. Let's be honest. I wouldn't have looked anything up beforehand. I like trying to do this stuff from memory. But I will definitely look it up now. I'm pretty sure these were released with the vinyl versions of Plastic Surgery back in the 80s. But yeah, this record is amazing. It's fun. It's catchy. It's timeless. It's lyrical content. It's just as important today in 2022 as it was back in the early 80s when it came out. I love the sense of paranoia. I love the massiveness to the rhythm section. East Bay Ray's guitar is haunting and completely on point as per usual. Biafra's lyrics are incredibly smart and so much fun. And this record is perfect, other than Halloween. So yeah, I'm going to go. So thank you so much for hanging out with me while I discuss the Dead Kennedys' plastic surgery disasters. If you like this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody, and I will see you guys soon. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button, because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.